Welcome student. Today we will study about virtual circuit networks. A virtual circuit network is a cross between a circuit switch network and a datagram network. So we have already studied circuit switch network and datagram network. So virtual circuit network is a cross between circuit switch network and a datagram network. So it takes all the advantages of all the good things of circuit switch network and datagram network. It has some characteristics of both. As in circuit switch network, there are setup and teardown phases in addition to the data transfer phase. So there are three phases like setup phase, data transfer phase, teardown phase. There are three phases are there in circuit switch network and also in virtual circuit network. Resources can be allocated during the setup phase as in a circuit switch network or on demand as in a datagram network. So resource allocation is done in two ways. Either one of the ways followed in circuit switch network or one of the way followed in datagram network. So in circuit switch network, it is allocated during the setup phase, whereas in datagram network it is allocated on demand. Characteristics. As in a datagram network, data are packetized and each packet carries an address in the header. So each packet that carries the information has address in the header. However, the address in the header has local jurisdiction. It defines what should be the next switch and the channel on which the packet is being carried, not end-to-end jurisdiction. So the address has local jurisdiction, means it should be carried from one switch to another switch, that's all. Apart from that, it will not carry to more than a local area network or a wide area network. It will only carry data from switch to switch. And there is no end-to-end jurisdiction. So there is no source to destination jurisdiction. Only switch to switch jurisdiction is there. As in a circuit switch network, all packets follow the same path established during the connection. So as in a circuit switch network, the virtual circuit networks, all packets follow the same path established during the connection. A virtual circuit network is normally implemented in the data link layer. So the virtual circuit network is normally implemented in the data link layer, while a circuit switch network is implemented in the physical layer and a datagram network in the network layer. So this is a virtual circuit network. As you can see, there are end systems like A, B, C, D. These are end systems which are connected among themselves using switches, different switches. So in virtual circuit network, there will be a path defined from source to destination. Addressing. In a virtual circuit network, two types of addressing are involved, global and local. So there are two types of addressing are involved, global addressing and local addressing. Local addressing, we call it as virtual circuit identifiers. These are nothing but virtual circuit identifiers. Global addressing. A source or a destination need to have a global address. An address that can be unique in the scope of the network or internationally, if the network is part of an international network. So it will have a global address and it will be unique and it will be unique internationally. However, we will see that a global address in virtual circuit network is used only to create a virtual circuit identifier. So this global address are used to create a virtual circuit identifier. We will see that how virtual circuit identifiers are created. So what is a virtual circuit identifier? The identifier that is actually used for data transfer is called the virtual circuit identifier. So this virtual circuit identifier is used for data transfer and it is a type of identifier. A virtual circuit identifier, unlike a global address, is a small number that has only switch scope. So this virtual circuit identifier has a switch scope only. It will be from the communication take place from switch to switch. That's all. Not beyond the switches. It is used by a frame between two switches. When a frame arrives at a switch, it has a VCI. When it leaves, it has a different VCI. So when a frame arrives at a switch, it has one VCI, and when it leaves, it has a different VCI. So virtual circuit identifier. So as you can see, these are the different VCIs we have. Virtual circuit identifiers 14 and 77. So as you can see, the data along with the header has a VCI. This VCI will pass through the switch. It will pass through the switch. After that, it will be received by the receiver. It will have a data and another VCI 77. So as you can see here, once it passes through a switch, it will have a different VCI, virtual circuit identifier. The VCI changes and it has switch to switch scope. It has only switch to switch scope. Virtual circuit networks. There are three phases. As in a circuit switch network, a source and destination need to go through three phases in a virtual circuit network. What are those three phases? Setup phase, data transfer phase, and teardown phase. So in the setup phase, the source and destination use their global addresses to help switches make table entries for the connection. So in the setup phase, the source and destination use global address, which is a unique address. So global address is a unique address. So they use global address in the setup phase to help switches make table entries for the connection. So this global address will help switches make table entries for the connection. In the teardown phase, the source and the destination inform the switches to delete the corresponding entry. So the corresponding entry in the tables will be deleted once the teardown phase comes into picture. Data transfer occurs between these two phases. Between the setup and the teardown phases, data transfer phase will take place. So coming to data transfer phase, to transfer a frame from a source to its destination, all switches need to have a table entry for this virtual circuit. So to transfer a frame from source to its destination, all switches need to have a table entry for this virtual circuit. The table in simplest form has 4 columns. So the virtual circuit network has a table for data transfer, and in its simplest form it has 4 columns. We'll see those columns. As you can see, switch and table in a virtual circuit network. So the table has 4 columns. It has one incoming, one outgoing column. In this, these are divided into 4 columns: port, VCI, port, VCI. So it has incoming port and incoming VCI. It has outgoing port and outgoing VCI. So as you can see, the data here has a 14 as the incoming VCI, and it is coming to port 1. So it has port 1 and incoming VCI as 14. So it has an outgoing port as 3, port 3, and an outgoing VCI as 22. So it has 3 as the output port and 22 as the VCI. Similarly, this data 77, which has a VCI as 77, has an incoming port of 1 and VCI as 77. It has an outgoing port of 2. It is going through 2, and it has a VCI of 41. So we are showing the data in green and white color. So green is going to port 3, whereas white color data is going to port 2. So there is a difference, green and white. Green is going to VCI 22 and white color is going to VCI 41. So as you can see, this VCI is from switch to switch, it changes. Setup phase, VCI, virtual circuit networks. In the setup phase, a switch creates an entry for a virtual circuit. So in the setup phase, a switch creates an entry for a virtual circuit. For example, suppose source A needs to create a virtual circuit to B. Two steps are required: the setup request and the acknowledgement. Setup request. A setup request frame is sent from source to the destination. So in the setup request, a frame is sent from source to its destination. And during the acknowledgement phase, a special frame called the acknowledgement frame completes the entries in the switching table. So the acknowledgement frame completes the table entry. Tier 1 phase. In this phase, source A, after sending all the frames to B, sends a special frame called a tier 1 request. Destination B responds with the tier 1 confirmation frame. All the switches delete the corresponding entry from the table. So in the tier 1 phase, all the switches delete the corresponding entry from the tables. So this is a setup request in a virtual circuit network. As you can see, we are sending from data from sender A to sender B. So it is going through 3 switches: 1, 2, switch 1, switch 2, and switch 3. So in the beginning, during the setup phase, the data will be sent from port 1 to which has a VCI of 14, and it will travel through port 3, and which does not have the outgoing VCI number. So how to fill this outgoing VCI number? I will show you in the next slide. So it does not know what is the outgoing VCI, but based on the global addressing, it will send to the port 3. And VCI is not known. Again, it will come to switch 2. Switch 2 has a port 1 as the incoming port, and VCI has 66. Incoming VCI is 66, and it will go through port 2, and the outgoing VCI we don't know. So it will be sent based on the global address. So again, coming to switch 3, it has incoming port and VCI port. Incoming VCI port number 22, but the outgoing port number is there, but VCI number is not there. So it will be filled during the acknowledgement phase. We will see how the acknowledgement phase will work out. So this is the way how data is sent from sender A to sender B, or port A to port B. So setup acknowledgement in a virtual circuit network. So this is the acknowledgement phase. Once it reaches the destination address B, it knows that the VCI of B is 77, outgoing is 77. So it fills the blank column with 77. Again, from 77, the acknowledgement data will go to port 2 of switch 3 along with the VCI 22. So this 22 will be filled here. VCI will be filled here along with the incoming port and VCI addresses. So again, this 66 is the outgoing VCI number. This will go along with the acknowledgement frame. And it reaches the switch 1. And here this blank VCI is filled with 66 as the VCI. Once this setup is complete, the next frames will pass through the virtual circuit. Efficiency. Coming to the efficiency, resource reservation in a virtual circuit network can be made during the setup or can be on demand during the data transfer phase. So efficiency for virtual circuit network will be more, as reservation is in a virtual circuit network can be made during the setup or can be made during the data transfer phase. Delay. In a virtual circuit network, there is a one-time delay for a setup and one-time delay for a teardown. If resources are allocated during the setup phase, there is no wait time for individual packets. So delay. Coming to the delay of the virtual circuit network, the packet is traveling through two switches, routers, through two routers. There are three transmission times, 3T, three propagation time, 3 tau, data transfer depicted by the sloping lines, a setup delay which includes transmission and propagation in two direction, and a teardown delay which includes transmission and propagation in one direction. So the total delay for the virtual circuit network is 3T, 3 capital T plus 3 tau plus setup delay plus teardown delay. So this is the delay in the virtual circuit network. So as you can see, we have a setup phase, we have a transmission phase, we have a teardown phase. In the transmission phase, there is a propagation delay. So this constitutes a delay in a virtual circuit network. So with this, unit 1 is completed. Thank you.